Okay, when we go to the front side of the machine, we can see there are two covers at the left and the right side of the machine. Inside is the electricity control system of the machine. Here is the key, the knob to lock the cover. So if we want to open it, we must move this knob to flight and take it out and make down. Then we can get the cover out. And the right side also the same way. We move up and then push down. Then we can open the cover. Please be careful that there are two cables connect with this right side cover. It's the cooling fan to suck out the hot air inside of the control system. Okay, when we open the two covers, we can see the whole control system of the FocusInc Atlas UV printer. So from the left, here is the control system of the air pressure system, the negative air pressure system to supply the vacuum negative pressure for the ink and ink tank. There are some ink pump, value, and control system. This whole system are the control system of the value of the negative pressure system. And then here is the electricity filter for the whole electricity system, and the switch for the machine, and there are the two 220 switch for the motor driver, and the temp controller for the Z motor driver, and the switch for the vacuum motor, the table subsumption, the big power vacuum motor. And when we go to the top, here is the 24 voltage power supply box. It's only used for this negative pressure system. And here is the power supply box, 2442 voltage. Here is 24 voltage power supply box, used for the sensor, some spare parts, except the control board. And here is 24 power supply box. It's only used for the main board and print board, the carriage board. So with separately power supply for special spare parts for safety. And here is 24 power supply box only used for the print head. Then here are three motor driver. One for X motor driver, and one for Y-axis motor driver, and one for the rotary device motor driver. So totally 3 motor driver. 2 or 3 motor driver is according to your configuration. So if you bought the rotary device, they will got 3 motor driver. If you not bought the rotary printing device, then you only have 2, X and Y. The Z is installed at the rear, inside of the rear. So this one is only used for the rotary printing device motor driver. And at the right side is the main board. The main board for the system. Okay, when we go to the main board, we can see there are some cable connected to the main board. So from top, here is the UV lamp signal cable, and here is the ink pump at the bottom of the machine. The 24 minus is together, and here is for different ink pump, different color. And here is power supply plug, 42 plug, 42 minus, 42 plus, and 24 minus, 24 plus. Some different plug. It's to supply the power to the main board. And here is the optical cable connected to the carriage board that we talked before. And please remember, here also have TX, RX mark at each side. So TX connect with the RX at the carriage board, while the RX connect with the TX at the carriage board. So must a close connection. And here is the Y motor for the flatbed Y motor signal cable to the Y motor motor driver. And here is the X motor signal cable connect from the main board to the X motor driver. And here is the Y original limit sensor, is the front limit sensor. And this one is the Y back limit sensor. It's at the back side of the table. Here is the Z down limit sensor. It's at the back side of the machine for machine move up and down. And here is the USB cable. Here's the Giga Ethernet cable connect from the main board to the computer. So please pay attention that here is the Ethernet cable, but not USB cable. The Ethernet cable will get more stable signal transit, and more stable for the transit data. And here is the Z motor for the rotary device. Here is a Z motor for the up-down motion, and here this one is for the rotary printing device signal cable. Here is for up-down motion, the rear up-down motor driver. So here is all the wire connection plug for each for the main board. So when we go to the top of the carriage, we can see there are totally 8 screws to lock the carriage. So first we must loosen the screw at the front, right, and front left. Then we loosen the screw at the right side. And to loosen the 2 screws at the left. After we loosen all the screws, then we can take it out, the front cover. When we take out the cover, we can see there are some spare parts installed at the bottom of the carriage. Okay, when we open the top cover of the carriage, first we can see there's a board, electricity board installed on the top of the carriage. And this board we professional code as carriage board or print board. So from the carriage board, there are lots of cables connected on the board. So from the top left, first one is the in-court sensor that's installed at the bottom of the carriage. And this one is the left home limit sensor and the right limit sensor. All the cable with mark on the cable. And here is empty for update. So this cable is for the anti-collision system to protect carriage and print head without scratch. The signal plug for the anti-collision system that's installed at the left and the right side of the carriage. And this pin is for the front, left, and right plastic air tank level sensor. It's used for once the ink go back to the air tank. The air tank will give a signal to the board. The board will stop pump ink and pump air to the system to protect the ink supply system and air pressure system. So this plug is for the front two air tank ink level sensor. And here is the ink level sensor for the front ink tank, but not air tank. It's for ink tank, black, cyan, magenta, yellow, white varnish for each. So once the front ink level sensor, once the ink level sensor got detect that the ink tank lack of ink, then the board will start to pump the ink to refill the ink from the board, the ink bottle to the sub-ink tank to get a stable printing. So this is all the electricity program for the machine. And once you get the machine, all the cable is connected way already, except the print head cable, print head not installed for safety, for protect print head without damage during delivery, because the print head is very dangerous, it's very expensive. It's the core main spare parts for a machine. So please just keep all the cable, all the tuber as default, without touch, without change any wire, any plug. If you get any problem, you need to contact with Focus support team at the first time, but not do any wrong operation without full understand the machine or without the guidance and our technical people. And also at the back side is a cooling fan to suck out the hot air at the carriage. So this is all the spare parts, the function and the name for each at the bottom of the carriage. Thank you. Okay, when we go to the right side of the machine, we can see here is the front limit sensor. When the sensor gets detected by the metal that installed at the bottom of the slide, then we'll stop to move front. So this is the front limit sensor. And here is the ball screw. The ball screw inside, ball screw and linear rail for the y-axis. Okay, when we go to the back side of the machine, we can see they also have one limit sensor that installed at the back side of the machine. This is the back limit sensor. When the rail go back to the back side, they will automatically stop when it detected by the sensor. And also inside is the ball screw and linear rail.